What's up guys, welcome back. So today we're looking at my thoughts on the top 5 warrior ultimates in Smite. This is obviously personal opinion, so don't get too salty if I didn't put an ultimate on the list that you think should have been on, but do leave a comment if you think I've missed a certain ability that should have been on here. I'll be interested to hear that. I've also talked to a few other people on forums, Reddit, stuff like that about this sort of stuff, so it's kind of mixed opinions between mine and some other people I've talked to, but let's get right into it. Kicking off the list at number 5, we've got Chaac's ultimate, Stormcall. This is one of those ultimates that just does so much different stuff that I just had to put it on the list. It's like a huge AoE knockup and silence in one ability is really insane for teamfights. While the silence isn't really useful against everyone, like even against hunters, it can still deny them dashing away or using their CC abilities to like escape and things like that. And landing a silence for 3 seconds on multiple people, especially on gods like mages and guardians that really need to cast their abilities, is pretty insane. But not only that, this ultimate also gives Chaac 50% damage mitigation, making him near impossible to kill while ulting. Not to mention the decent CC immunity too. This ultimate just has pretty much everything you need in a warrior ultimate in my opinion for teamfights, which is why it had to be on my list. Taking the number 4 spot on my list is the newest warrior, Achilles, and his ultimate, Fatal Strike. You could tell me that this ability was a resettable execute and I'd be on board immediately, but it also acts as a dash with a decent amount of CC immunity on top of that. Even if you just execute one target, this ability is crazy strong, as you can execute someone and get 2 dashes and some extra damage on the end of it. But if you manage to execute multiple people, the team fight is literally over, that's just how it is. No other ultimate in the game can compare to this one in terms of the ability to just hard carry a fight. Like, it's one of only a few executes in the game, and it resets on getting a kill. That's just insane. Even without an execute, this ability still does 540 base damage with 100% scaling, making it decent as just a chase and damage tool. Or of course to escape if you need to use it that way. Of course there's the drawback that he takes 10% more damage for each execute, but to be honest, if you've executed 2 or 3 people in a fight, it's not really going to matter how much damage you take because you've already won the fight. This one could potentially be even higher on the list. The only reason I'm a bit hesitant to put it higher is because he's not been allowed in ranked or SPL yet. So we haven't seen his performance at higher levels of play, but from what I've seen in casuals, this ultimate is fucking amazing. Coming in at number 3 is an ultimate that requires a specific relic just for it alone. Odin's Ring of Spears. You know you got a powerful ultimate on your hands when it can deny like 20 gods from being picked just because you have an Odin. The movement restriction combined with the healing reduction makes gods like Ra, Aphrodite, and Hel almost unviable against Odin. This ultimate is the pinnacle of anti-heal, but it also does good work against non-healers as well. The movement restriction is insanely powerful if you can catch someone with their jump down or they just don't have a jump at all in their kit. It makes them pretty much a free kill for your carries for the next 5 seconds after you use this ability, which is really insane for teamfights if you can land it on multiple people. The attack speed reduction is also nothing to laugh at on this ability, to be honest. Granted, most people don't level the ultimate until later, but once you do get to level 20 or get it to rank 5, it gives 60% attack speed reduction, which can just destroy hunters and gods like Mercury that rely on their basic attacks to do their damage. No other ability in the game can do what this one does on such a large scale, which is why it takes my number 3 spot on the list. I had a real internal debate about whether to put Ring of Spears or Guan Yu's Cavalry Charge at number 2. In the end, I decided Cavalry Charge is a bit more universally powerful in more situations. Cavalry Charge just provides an insane amount of stuff for one single ability that it had to make it onto the list for me. Of course, there's the main component of this ability, the stun. That's like insanely powerful in teamfights due to the huge AoE and 1.5 second stun by default, which by the way increases to 2 seconds with its passive up. But the persistent slow you can reapply with every swing is actually really powerful too. It's a 40% slow with its passive, which is pretty insane considering how easy it is to apply and how long you can apply it for. On top of all that CC though, this ability can also hit insanely hard if you get a lot of consecutive swings off on the same target due to the damage escalation on each successful hit. It can deal up to 1435 base damage with 210% scaling at max rank. Granted, it's not going to realistically do that in a game, but it's still pretty insane for a warrior ability. Another thing this gives is a huge amount of CC immunity and extra speed to chase people down or even run away if you need to use it like that. Honestly, the cherry on top for this ultimate in my opinion is the fact that you can cancel it at any time to get an immediate stun, which can be great for setting up or securing a kill. Overall, this ability is just super versatile and useful in so many different ways and on so many compositions that it just had to be on my list. Okay, before we get to the number 1 spot, I've got 3 honourable mentions for Bellona's Eagles Rally, Raven's Mystic Rush, and Hercules' Excavate. Bellona's Eagles Rally is just insane for teamfighting. It's got a decent stun in a fairly sizable AoE, and there's also the flag AoE that gives you bonus power and protections and things in a team fight, which can be really useful. Mystic Rush is just, it does so much damage, and it also increases the damage they take from consecutive abilities after that, and also reduces the damage Raven takes, which is really good. And Hercules' Excavate just hits fucking really hard. It does like 800 base damage with 120% scaling or something ridiculous, so if you bounce it off a wall, you just won't hit people with it. Doesn't provide any CC or utility or anything like that, but it does provide a fuckload of damage. Alright, and taking the top spot for the overall best warrior ultimate in Smite, it's Amaterasu's Dazzling Offensive. In before, why are there 2 Guan Yu ults on the list, XD? You know it's going to be a strong ultimate when it came from the most broken god to ever be released in Smite. This ultimate is the pinnacle of teamfight CC abilities with 2 different forms of CC that are nearly impossible to miss. The 2-second stun in a huge cone would make this ability powerful just by itself. It's hard to even describe how long 2 seconds is in Smite when you're in a teamfight and you can literally do nothing. If this ability stuns you and you don't have bees, you're probably just dead. It's as simple as that. Of course, the slow on this ability is pretty respectable as well, but it's mainly there to set up for the stun and confirm it easily. The damage on the ability is actually pretty strong too. Like, Cavalry Charge does more damage overall, but it's unlikely to ever do its full damage in a teamfight, whereas Amaterasu will often be able to land all 3 hits of the ability and get the full damage out of it, which by the way is 990 plus 150% scaling total. This ultimate just makes her an absolute monster to play against in teamfights. Like, granted her other abilities are also a big part of a teamfight presence, like the silence, the auras, the passive, that sort of stuff. But it's the insane amount of CC that can come out from this ability just carries her in teamfights in my opinion. Which is why it's my #1 pick for the best warrior ultimate in Smite. Alright, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, if there's any abilities you thought should have been on the list but I didn't put on. It'll be interesting to hear from you guys in the comments. But that's about it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, nerds.